By the way, I've just realized there's another drama. There's so much happening this last week. We didn't even get to this. I have got a take. I feel like nobody's crystallized it the way I would say it. Everyone else has been pointing out that stupid Mad Lions versus Gen G tweet where the LCK account, because Mad Lions to banter, because in Europe we just make fun of ourselves, they were like, yeah, the Gen G win, even though they're Mad Lions, right? So then when the LCK account was like Lions and Tigers, handshake, right? Stop for a second, guys. Everyone else was making these points. Well, the LS and them were like, well, you have to understand they're two animals that are like quite similar. And obviously like a lion and a tiger are two cats. And it's like they're sort of nodding and saying, I get your thing. No, I'll make it simpler than that. Do you actually think the LCK account would make fun of T1 and cheer against the greatest org in the history of Korean esports? Do you even know what Kesper is? Do you know what Kesper is? Like, it is, yeah, even the concept that you think, here's what I'm sick of on the internet. It's true.
I just don't even understand why it was.
It's true. You can interpret anything, in theory, right? You can interpret anything the way you want, but you have to ask what is the most likely intention. And the way everyone else was reading it, like, well, obviously they're just mocking him and making like that doesn't make any sense. None of the evidence, circumstantial considerations are taken. Like to me, that was an absolute nothing burger, bro. That was nothing, and they still got mad over it. Come on.
I have no idea what the T1 fans were even angry about. Like allegedly, but this is literally the tweet, guys. Before the T1 Mad Lions game, it was Lions handshake emoji Tigers, and somehow that was interpreted, including by Joe Marsh, by the way, as somehow offensive towards T1, as though the official LCK account was rooting against T1, which
inconceivable.
So also, guys, let's just say this. You guys need to pick one. So is the following true? Are we cheering for individual teams at international events, or are we cheering for regions? Please tell me which one of them it is. Now, I just take it team by team because I think regions are irrelevant at international events, in my opinion. I just want to see the best teams in the world competing, and I don't really care where they're from or which region is winning, as long as I get to see some sick League of Legends. So I don't think that there was any kind of shade being thrown by the LCK account. To your point, Duncan, like as a Broncos fan, okay, there are jokes within the Broncos fan base, including calling other teams with horse mascots horse bros.
There you go.
And it's
like the Colts, obviously. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fist bump horse bros, like Colts. It's like the Broncos have nothing to do with the Colts, but we interact, like the fans interact with other fan bases being like, oh yeah, horse bros, go horse bros. And it's just like, it's stupid. It's literally just a similar mascot with the Colts.
Yes.
Right? But it's the same, just kind of joking around and playful banter.
And here's the weirdest thing. I would get it if the LCK account inappropriately had responded in kind and also said mad win. They didn't. They just said Lions and Tigers. If anything, they agreed, yeah, Gen G should win. They were agreeing that the fucking Korean team should win. What are we even doing here? It's just nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Mate. I can't handle it.
I just don't understand.
Burger. Absolute nothing.
I just don't understand why no one will actually. I think this comes to a larger point about League of Legends when we go back to the Spanish fans as well, which is why will no one speak up against these psychotic fan bases?
They won't do it, mate.
Why will nobody be like,
it's worse? They make it sound like the extreme ones saying the hateful shit are the cool normal ones, and that you're dissing the other. I hate when people do that, mate. When they pretend like when you say it's fucked up what T1 fans did, you mean the guy who's just sat with his T1 flag saying nothing in his house in Seoul. Like, what the hell? I just love T1. Why would we be talking about him? You only do that to deflect, by the way, like the Spanish guy did, from what you did. What you're basically saying is like, oh, so you're attacking all of us. So here's one of the worst things, by the way, about people who make themselves the victim. They make themselves the victim to justify doing whatever they want to the other person. As soon as they're the victim, carte blanche, they can do anything they want. So it's actually an excuse to hide behind your own toxicity. Like in this scenario, and by the way, it's Spanish and French fans, you can call out the other side. You don't have to then, oh, but did our side do something? No, you just call out what's wrong. Call out what's wrong throughout the whole scene, and we're all good. It'll get taken care of. Because I'm with you. In that scenario, what makes me sick is this, Monty. Joe Marsh, The people at Esports Maniacos, Ibai, people on the fucking French scene, OTP or whatever, you could actually, for real, you won't get to most of them, but you could probably take a solid 20% of those fans down a level if you just come out and go, look, guys, I understand your passion for the game. I understand you were young and you're upset about it, but this isn't who we are. You know what? We're French, we're Spanish. We support our players, but we don't hate the other player. If you did that, you actually might sort of like get through to someone. Yeah, here's the problem. It's why they do it, Monty. They know some of the fans will get pissed off at them and be like, if you're not with us, they'll treat you like a traitor. But that's the point we're making here: is be the fucking adult in the room, be the leader. Don't play to your own, because that's the one with I've had my problem with Joe Marsh. Here's the thing. I laugh at him being an idiot and having stupid thoughts about esports, but that's just here and there, Monty. There's plenty of people I think are silly in esports.
Sure.
But one thing I despise, and I'll never forgive him for, is he never took the steps he needed to when that LS shit was going on back in 2020.
Yep.
And it's just the same thing again. What happens is when trucks come, Joe Marsh doesn't say, guys, I get the message, but this is misguided. He just says like, sorry, I hear what you're saying. We'll do better. That's like the vibe. And you do not tell a toxic fan that, by the way. You don't tell someone who's essentially physically intimidating you that he's cool for doing it. That is not what esports I want to be a part of.
Well, especially, I mean, the hilarious part about Joe Marsh is that he capitulated to the fan base on a variety of issues, including the LS one. And then when he did something that made the fans angry, he basically had to grovel because he said something
on the Discord, you mean? Yeah, I remember.
He said it was dumb what he said on the Discord server about
it was just a throwaway thing, though, obviously.
But like, should a CEO of a company be like sexualizing one of the players? No. But was it the end of the world? Absolutely not. But because of his precedent that he had set previously, there was no one to defend Joe Marsh when the trucks came for Joe Marsh. It
really was that thing, when LS was attacked, I said nothing because I was Joe Marsh and I wanted the T1 fans
for LS.
Exactly. But then when they came for me, there was no one because I am Joe Marsh. There you go. It's a bit like he's mixed together the Pugnatio story from Watchmen with that famous thing about Nazi Germany, sadly. What a world. What a world.
But I do think that, and the Mad Lions gave kind of a nothing statement about it too, where it's like nobody is willing to call out the language and just be like, hey guys, we love you as fans, but this is not an appropriate way to interact with our players. I think it's a really relatively straightforward thing to say. And like, we're not going to tolerate our players being treated like this. Like,
I'll tell you, as someone who's an expert, Monty, in having people attack you, people have the dynamic wrong. I actually don't really do this. I do it with the fan bases that really piss me off because they can have it till the end of time. Other ones, I am just giving it takes. And because I'm not like you, I'm not 17, a little kid in esports, I have a very different perspective on the game. Oftentimes, my unique takes are just my opinion. But I'll tell you this, like, look at the career of Skip Bayless. Does hating the analyst and talking shit about him reduce his popularity and exposure and crush his career and make people not want to hire him, or does it increase it? Like, I would actually say this. If you tell these fans off, Monty, a psycho fan isn't going to tune out of the LCK broadcast or the LVP broadcast. They're not going to. They're going to watch the game. They might hate on you in the Twitch chat. So the idea, like, you're essentially like, it's not even a business interest thing. You're not going to lose all your fans and all your sponsors and all your thing if you sort of like politely take a stand on this matter. You're not going to. Pandering to them doesn't really help anything. I don't even think it increases your numbers, mate. I think I could even argue you might put off sort of more reasonable fans. They might just go, bloody hell, I don't want to be part of a bunch of ultras. I just want to watch video games and cheer for Faker or whatever. Or Niski or El Yoya.
Yeah.
I don't get it. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.